Out of control inflation and economic collapse. What's going on, guys? Ron Yates here. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back to the Financial Freedom Channel. Now, today we got a show-stopping story, and it's going to make you question everything that you thought you knew about the central banks and their control over inflation. It's called "It Wasn't a Mistake or a Slip." Lagarde hints at raising central bank inflation target. So you know how the central banks around the world have been struggling to control inflation, right? Yeah, so their plan to print more money and buy us off, it really hasn't worked out, especially with C-19 and everything. Now, to be honest, they're on the verge of losing control, and it's becoming the norm. And guess what? I think our very own Federal Reserve is going to follow suit pretty soon. Just look at the news today. Bed Bath & Beyond just announced they're filing for bankruptcy. Check it out.
This just into the newsroom. The chains Bed Bath & Beyond and Bye Bye Baby have just announced they filed today for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Both stores announced the news on their websites this morning, writing, quote, "We have made the difficult decision to begin winding down our operations." They do say their stores and websites are still open and serving customers, but it's unclear for how much longer.
It's a big story. It affects a lot of parents.
I was so upset when I saw that this morning because Bye Bye Baby, especially for moms and, everything. So
We'll see how much longer they're open.
hopefully a little bit longer, yeah.
Now, I know you guys heard about this already. We covered this. But I don't know. It just seems like every day the situation is just getting worse and worse while the government is still trying to cover things up. What do you guys think? Drop me your thoughts in the comments down below. But like it says in the article, there are three kinds of lies. Lies, damn lies, and statistics. Like most market commentary, we got to focus on the former two. Politics and all the inconsistencies and the numbers on the screen that get the market all riled up. Now, in this day and age, it is super important to wake up and understand that there are wordsmiths out there who basically use sorcery and trickery to try to deceive the people and everyday investors. These people, they use all sorts of sneaky tricks like month-over-month numbers, seasonality adjustments, and other changes to make you feel good about bad news and keep you spending your money. Sometimes they come up with all sorts of new terminologies and jargon just to kind of throw us off the scent. But really, the truth is that our economy is headed down a cliff. Why are they doing this to us? So that the American people can just stay unaware and just keep that spending train going on? I mean, can I get an amen, guys? Y'all know what I'm talking about. I received a marketing email from my credit union just the other day. It was about a 40-year mortgage. This is how you know things are out of control. Instead of raising interest rates and helping to push market prices back down to earth, the banks, they want to promote reckless spending and put people into debt for the rest of their lives. This is literally insanity. So yeah, today, let's go ahead and get ready to hear the truth about inflation and the central banks because I'm about to give it to you right now. Now, for the best way to invest in gold or silver, check out the links down below in the description of this video. So really the highlight here is if our economy is really doing so well, then why are tech companies just shedding jobs and household names like Bed Bath & Beyond? They're turning belly up. I mean, you know what I mean, right? This is in the news. The store had everything for your home back in the 90s and the 2000s. Almost sounds like an old school juvenile rap video. Anyway, they filed for bankruptcy just recently. They just put up a statement on their website thanking all of their loyal customers, but they're going to start winding down operations. They're not closing all of their 360 locations and 120 Bye Bye Baby stores, at least not yet. They even got a $240 million loan just to keep things going. But they're starting store closing sales this week, and some stores will be shut down. What happens next to their 14,000 employees in stores is still up in the air. Bed Bath & Beyond said that they're trying to sell some of their business or all of their business, but if they cannot find a buyer, then they'll likely be forced to liquidate entirely and just go out of business. Some people think they might come out of bankruptcy as an online-only retailer, but it won't be the same as before. Bed Bath & Beyond used to be a big deal. So did Toys R Us, Circuit City, and Sports Authority, if you guys remember those companies. All of those stores were category killers. They dominated in the retail space, but they all filed for bankruptcy too, right around the time where people started to shop online a little bit more. Well, Bed Bath & Beyond used to be the go-to store for pretty much everything you needed in your home. It was super popular in the 90s and the 2000s for good reasons. They sold big names at discounted prices, and the layout of the stores made it just way too easy to buy all kinds of stuff that you really didn't need or plan on buying. You could go in for a new set of plates and end up walking out with new pillows, towels, and more. It was a total win-win for everyone, and the holiday season and back to school time were extra crazy busy back then. They also had a killer baby and wedding registry business. Now, unfortunately, the company did not adapt to the changes in shopping habits fast enough, and they fell way behind the competition. People started shopping at Amazon, Target, and other chains instead of going to Bed Bath & Beyond. And now the company is in deep water. In its bankruptcy filing, it said it had over $5 billion in debt and over $4 billion in assets. It got a $240 million loan just to kind of help it close down stores and wrap up its business. Now, I don't know who personally would have handed $240 million to a company who was clearly going out of business, but I digress on that one. But hey, I think it's part of a classic example of the big market lie when people focus only on the stats and ignore everything else that's going on. So the other day, ECB President Lagarde gave a speech, and this speech had everybody talking. Even a national security expert called it astounding. Anyway, so Lagarde basically said that we're seeing some major shifts happening in the global economy. There's all kinds of geopolitical competition that's going on, and that's driving up inflation. Plus, we're seeing a new FX system emerge, and trade invoicing and swap lines are becoming really important. To deal with all this, Lagarde thinks that Western countries need to have more expansive fiscal policies and beef up their defenses. And when it comes to monetary policy, she says we need to take a page from the 80s, but also work with fiscal policy to achieve strategic goals. Oh, and get this one. So once we hit the 2% CPI target, Lagarde says we can start talking about changing it. Wait, what? Plus, she thinks that we might need a central bank digital currency to help with fiscal spending policies and trading invoicing. And in case you guys don't know, she also believes that the countries with the best state capitalism, mercantilism strategies will come out on top in this new world order. It's like borrowing 5 full-size apples from a neighbor on Monday with an agreement to pay him back 6 apples on Friday. Friday comes, you pay him back with 6 apples that are about half the size. Really kind of insane if you ask me. So yeah, this is a big deal. We're not just talking about hitting some arbitrary CPI target here. We are talking about major changes that are happening in the global economy that could affect all of us. Like, we're talking big implications for everything from the economy to politics to your bank account. And let me tell you guys, she didn't just blurt it out without thinking. No, this is a well-planned, established, pre-approved declaration. So basically, we're in a global competition that's gonna just keep going no matter what. But you know what's real crazy? Nobody seems to care. The financial press was more interested in some boring stats from China or some subscriber numbers. It's like everybody's just pretending that everything's fine, even though things are getting crazier and crazier. I mean, some people might argue that the stock market can even just keep going up and up and up as everything else falls apart. But what happens when rates start going up? That one's anything's guess. Can we just keep doing what we're doing in a world where there's a big competition going on between different groups? Now, the other side is all about this idea of common prosperity, and they're using this finance to speed up the shift in how things are made and how they're sold. Shouldn't we be focused more on actually making stuff instead of playing around with imaginary made-up financial stuff? The people who make that stuff and the media that talks about it, they're going to say no. But the Pentagon and Lagarde say yes. The only person left is Jerome Powell, and if he sees his tune, even the stock market might take notice. The big Fed Jackson Hole annual meeting is going to be wild this year. But until then, I bet we're just going to keep hearing more and more lies and meaningless stats, even though what really matters is this huge global competition. But what do you guys think? Pretty soon, I'm betting that the Fed is going to start talking about something that we got to keep our eyes on. And you know what? I'm going to be on top of it and bring you guys all of the details. It's going to start with Jerome Powell dropping some hints in an interview or something. Kind of like, when he says that he thinks one day the US dollar won't be the only reserved currency. I was actually surprised he admitted to that. Basically, that means that we're in trouble and a bunch of other currencies are about to be in the mix soon. But a lot of people don't get how serious this is. When the Fed governors start talking about it too, that's when things are going to get really real. They might even say that it's a good thing to have other currencies involved to kind of even things out. And that's when we'll know for sure that the dollar is not the big boss anymore. Some people still don't get that it's already happening now. So here's the deal. You got to decide if you want to be, one of the 95% of the people who just start following the crowd and kind of getting screwed when this whole currency thing falls apart, or if you want to be a part of the 5% of smart people who saw it coming and prepared for it. It's up to you. I just got to say, these lies, these stories that our government is pushing on us, they're just half the problem. Now, the other half, people believing them despite the mounting evidence to the contrary. And this is why I have a hard time believing anything that these clowns tell us. Really, at this point, my trust is only in God and, of course, our financial freedom fam right here. But what about you guys? So yeah, anyway, how do you really prepare for the imminent collapse? Well, first, you want to get out of debt and don't take on more debt. Now, obviously, none of this is financial advice. This is just what I'm doing with my own personal finances. Second, I'm looking at alternatives like inflation hedges such as gold and silver. I don't really worry too much about the day-to-day price swings because even if it does go down, it's a temporary dip and you can actually buy more and get more bang for your buck when the price goes down. The rich people and the central banks are buying gold for a reason. And we're going through a worldwide currency collapse. But hey, always do your homework. Each person's journey to financial freedom is always going to be different. So you got to find out what's going to work best for you and for your family situation and your own personal risk appetite. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, I'm right here. If you guys need anything, feel free to hit me up in the comment section down below. Always like hearing from you guys. But for now, that was our jam-packed inflation update and daily news report. Bed Bath & Beyond filing for bankruptcy, the European Central Bank revealing how central banks like the Fed have been lying to us and basically what's really happening with our economy. Basically, a lot of financial leads to follow up on in the coming days. That's why you really got to make sure you do not miss out on my future updates. Make sure you drop a like for the video, subscribe to the channel, and also share this video with a friend. I'll see you guys on the next one.